hear me. We have a lot of fun people in the crowd tonight, so I can't wait to hear from all of them. Notice is hereby given pursuant to the Texas Open Meetings Act, Government Code, Chapter 551, that the city of Smithfield will conduct a council meeting on January 12th, 2026 at 5 p.m. in the council chambers of City Hall, 317 Main Street, Smithfield, Texas. I call this meeting to order. What are you doing with my gavel?
I left it there.
Fun times here. We're going to start with the invocation. Brandon, are you going to lead us?
Father God, I ask for your discernment in this meeting today. I ask that you provide us guidance as we look through everything in this council packet and make decisions for the council. Father God, I also pray for just prosperity through this new year, Father God, as new things are happening within the city and things are continuing to change and to grow. And I pray that you just give us all wisdom to handle it all and above all else to bring unity. In your name I pray. Amen.
The next item on our agenda is presentation from Chad Nobles with Amoresco on the city's advanced metering infrastructure. Welcome, Chad.
Basically, was asked to kind of come and give an update on a status of kind of the AMI water meters and electric meter system that you guys have. I'm kind of coming in this probably like a lot of you. I have only been at Amoresco about 6 years now. I've been in the industry about 25 years doing this type of work. Unfortunately for us, the person that was originally here with the project has passed away. So we weren't able to go back and get a lot of the data and stuff like that. And actually the engineering manager has passed away as well. So we've had two people. I'm like, hey, don't put this on me. So, but we've been meeting with staff for quite some time. And really what I want to do is kind of give you a state of I guess we'll say the state of the status of the AMI infrastructure that you have. So we're going to kind of just bear with me as we go through this stuff. I'm hoping I can answer all your questions, but if not, please allow me some time to get back to you and see what I can dig up for you. So I've given you in your package, you should have a handout of what we're actually going to be talking about tonight. No, you can just hit it. We'll progress to the next slide. If that'll work. It was working just a few minutes ago. So here's really what I want to kind of talk about tonight. One, we're going to talk about the contract that was signed back in 2015. I want to go through some of the issues that your staff has been dealing with as it relates to the meters. And then talk a little bit about some potential options that you have moving forward and really kind of some of the next steps. So is it working now? Perfect. Okay. So back in 2015, the city entered into a contract with Amoresco to basically complete several different things. One of those was to put in an AMI system, an advanced metering infrastructure project. And before I began, Amoresco does not make anything. So we're not a manufacturer of any product. We were the contractor involved in doing this project for you guys. We were kind of the engineer and the contractor all in one for a turnkey. We did it under Texas Local Government Code 302. Which that basically code says that we have to guarantee something as part of that project. And that guarantee from us was meter accuracy. So we guaranteed that the water meters would remain a certain accuracy over the term of the contract. And then additionally, we did some things on the electrical side where we changed out some street lights and some interior fixtures. And what we guaranteed there was kilowatt hour reduction. So we guaranteed to the fact that your utility rates, when we put the new lights in, they would actually save money on the electrical bill. So as part of that contract, back in 2015, we replaced roughly 1,700 water meters. We did about 2,100 electric meters. We put in the AMI, and that project was completed in July of 2016, with final acceptance in 17. The guarantee, or what we call the measurement and verification language. So we're contractually, we had to come back and test meters at a certain time. We had to measure what the utility rates were doing in reducing on the lighting situation. And in the first year we had on the electricity side, so this is on your lightings, we actually saved roughly $45,000. The electric meter revenue was stipulated at 1%. Basically what that means is that the old electric meters you had, they said, hey, we know they're inaccurate. We don't want to spend the money testing them. We know that they're at least 1% accuracy. And so that was going to generate another $48,000 in income for you guys. And then on the meter readers, this was actually a number that you guys came up with that basically said, hey, we know that we're not going to have to physically manually read meters anymore. And so that number was stipulated at $36,000 was used in the cash flow savings. And then there was some additional money for meter replacements because obviously these meters had a certain warranty on them for that time period. And we'll talk through what that warranty was, but that was roughly, they were spending $30,000 a year repairing meters, repairing lights, those type of things. So they were considered operational savings. So it's basically just numbers that were being used to help pay for and offset the cost of the project. The water meter standpoint, what we did is when we tested the meters the first time, we found out that they were inaccurate. Those meters didn't test. The old meters that you had in the ground didn't test accurate, which means you were losing money because the water that was going through it, you weren't collecting for. That was the equivalent of roughly $65,000 in year one. And we guaranteed a meter accuracy going in future years of the 98.5%. We also did some testing of the 2 and 3 inch and 4 inch meters as well. And those were all part of that revenue number that you see up there on the front. And sorry for that line that at the bottom that says it didn't format correctly, it looks like, but as part of our contract, we weren't responsible for any maintenance. So your staff was responsible for all the maintenance, the operations, the ongoing. We basically put the project in and then had a 1-year workmanship warranty on the project, along with the guarantee on the meter accuracy, which I'll talk about. So here's kind of what the warranty said. As I mentioned, Ameresco had a 1-year workmanship warranty on the project. At the time, staff had chose Mueller, which is the manufacturer of the meter and the AMI system. They were responsible for the software, the actual infrastructure itself, and on those software, the repeaters, the data collectors that were actually installed, they had a 1-year warranty on that. Your electric meters had a 1-year manufacturer's warranty. On the water meters, they actually had a 10-year full warranty with a 10-year additional prorated. So they were a 20-year prorated warranty on the endpoints, which are the actual radios that were on the meters, as well as the actual meter itself. The meter itself, the brass bodies, those type of things had it's basically a 5-year, what they call it's based on volume. So as volume goes through there, if you had 750,000 gallons through there in a 5/8 by 3/4 inch meter, or 5 years, whichever came first, was basically what that warranty is. And I see I have a typo there. It should be 750,000 gallons, not 1.75 million. In 2018, we were notified that the city was starting to have issues. So I'm going to try to take you through the timeline of what transpired here. Initially, Mueller told all of us that it would take 9 repeaters and data collectors to cover the city. They ended up putting in 25 across the city because they weren't getting the coverage. No cost to the city at that point to do that. That was part of us and them doing that. We also noticed that in 2018, again, this is a couple of years after we started having some endpoints begin to fail and batteries begin to fail. We also had a significant amount of electric meters that were starting to fail, which the way the system, Mueller designed their system is some of the water meters would actually send the signal to the electric meter, and then from the electric meter, it would actually send back to the head end where you could collect the actual read. It's called a mesh type system. Well, when your electric meter fails, you now probably can't pick up some of the water meters that we're counting on using that as almost a jump point to actually see the readers. So we brought Mueller out. We worked with staff. They basically said that some of the problems was caused by metal lids and some of it was caused by other things. Long story short, we went through and we replaced some metal lids. Mueller replaced some of the endpoints under the actual warranty. And that took place basically between 2019 and 2020. We participated with you guys on pretty much weekly, monthly calls with Mueller, trying to push them to find solutions and get stuff. And in 21, we came up, there was another situation that happened where the water tower was being rehabilitated. Obviously, that caused one of the data collectors that was mounted on it to be relocated, still experiencing failures. And at this point, the handhelds that were being used kind of as a backup, so it's basically a backup device to read the meters, was also starting to fail. And Mueller couldn't provide us any answers on why and what things were going. I can know that staff worked super long hours trying to figure all this stuff out, and kudos to your staff for what they've been trying to do and Band-Aid this system that's ultimately a manufacturer failure. In December of 21, Mueller had they had a distributor which was called Ferguson. That was their distributor. They cut ties with Ferguson. Ferguson and Mueller ended their relationship. Part of it was because of some of the problems that Mueller was having. Ferguson as a distributor said, hey, we're going to pick somebody else. We can't deal with this problem. Mueller decided, big story, but anyway, they ended the partnership. So the support you were getting from the distributor now is gone. We're only dealing with the manufacturer. In 2022, Mueller changed their technology. They basically said, hey, the old 3G technology is gone. We want to take you to 4G. And we said, look, you can't just abandon this. You got to do something about it. And so they basically said, hey, we're ending the life of the V3 system, which was on the electric meters and endpoints. And we're kind of sitting here going, well, what are you going to do about the water meter? Because we're still having issues. At the same time in 2022, we came back and physically tested the accuracy of those water meters. At this point in time, those water meters that we tested failed. They were supposed to be reading 98.5%. They read 79% on average. So we were like, okay, we got to replace these. So at that point, we got with Mueller and worked out a deal with them to where they would provide some materials. We came in and actually replaced all the water meters, or a lot of the water meters that were failing in that one size that we had tested. We also noticed that these endpoints, which should be lasting 20 years, are failing way too fast. It was during 2022 that Mueller told us also as a group that, hey, they're no longer going to be supported for the electric meters. We're like, what? So that's what they told us. So this is kind of when I started getting involved. I was working with my internal team. I was on calls. Like I said, we had weekly calls with Mueller. We had weekly calls with their management. We talked to multiple people within Mueller high up and said, look, you can't just abandon this. You're abandoning both Amoresco as well as the city of Smithville. We need a solution. Their solution was to basically come in and said, they basically said, hey, we're no longer going to manufacture electric meters. We're getting out of that business altogether. So there's nothing we can do on your electric side. What we can do on the water side is go ahead and replace it and put a new software in. And so now you currently have two systems, one kind of running the water side and one little bit running the electric side. At this stage of the game, we obviously had a guarantee to you guys, which was the revenue that we're supposed to be collected from these meters. So we ended up having to basically, we had a certain dollar amount that was the last 5 years because that was the way the contract was written. So we either had to pay that or do something about the actual meters. At the time we met with staff, and at that point staff said, hey, look, we got to figure out this electric meter situation. So Mueller had offered us to basically offer to you guys the ability for you could buy some electric meters and use those. So we purchased those meters on your behalf to basically build some backstock so that you could use those electric meters. Fast forward a couple of years down to 2023, Mueller kept saying, hey, we're abandoning this, but they would never tell us a date and would never give city a date as to when the electric meter and the AMI software is associated with the electric side was actually going to not be supported. Finally, with a call, we had a call with your city manager, with staff, we got Mueller to admit that they are basically done with the electric and that it will be phased out for sure in the next 1 to 2 years, which that was July of last year. So at that point, you're sitting in a situation where you basically have an electric system that's no longer being supported by the manufacturer. You have a water meter system right now that is failing on the meters, and it's really not being supported, even though they are, but you got two systems that aren't talking together is what your end goal was, which is to have an AMI system for all of it. So here's kind of the current situation as we look at it today. You got two AMI systems that we're talking about. One of them is completely gone, the electric side. So your electric meter is basically useless at this point. It's getting reading, you're probably down to 70, 60 something percent at best of what you're reading. Everything else is having to be manually read right now. And Mueller is basically saying, sorry. Mueller is also no longer offering anything that we could upgrade to. So it's not like they would be willing to stand behind and provide us. They told us go find something else. And so we've basically looked at a couple different options. We've got some budget numbers that we've given staff on what that looks like. But again, you are currently as staff experiencing challenges and you're having to manually read meters. So what the potential options are that we've kind of talked to staff a little bit about, and I'm sure there's other options, but kind of boiled it down to these three. One, you basically continue status quo. You allow the system to basically continue to decline. You're going to have to probably hire people to actually go manually read meters, which is actually going backwards and not something you really want to do. Plus, you're going to lose the data side of being able to give that value to the client. One of the things that we did after year in 2022 is we put in a customer portal as well to try to help get some of the data across easier because Mueller was abandoning some of their software features that they were having. Second option is you basically leave the existing Mueller water meter system in place. You've got a little bit of time probably left with the water side because they say that they're telling us all that they will continue to support that on the water side. We don't know for how long, and we do know that we have meter endpoint failures consistently as well, and then only replace the electric. From a professional standpoint, I would say that the third option is the best, which is completely, basically abandon both SIPs and move forward with some new technology that replaces both the electric and the water. And that takes you into the future for the next 10, 15, 20 years. So moving forward, some of the challenges that we've talked about as staff is we feel like, and I think staff would probably agree that full replacement, they haven't had a greatest support from Mueller, obviously, as we've kind of gone through. And I've skipped a lot of the details. We've got pages and pages of meeting minutes and notes that you're more than welcome to read through and talk about things that were missed. But you obviously need to look at a technology that's right for you today as well as in the future. You also want to look at an unbiased, you want somebody that can give you an unbiased approach. It's got a proven track record. Obviously, we need multiple departments within the city staff to come together to talk through this of what each department needs, whether it's electric, water, utility billing, customer service. They all need to be involved in that process. And usually what we see is you want to make sure that you got the right team because we know that if you go out and replace meters, there's going to be challenges. We've got to deal with the work that's in the field, how to resolve those issues as they come up, get them done quickly, and really looking for something on overall best value. One of the solutions that we've presented is to basically partner with us. So I've been doing this business for over 25 years. My team's done over 100 meter projects in Texas alone. This is really what we do. We're very good at this. We consider ourselves an extension of your staff and your team. We like to be called the easy button because we want to make it easy on everybody that's involved. Obviously, we've been here the entire time and haven't been paid anything since the original project and been partnered with you guys working in multiple meetings, multiple things. In fact, we've actually paid you guys for a lot of this stuff that's been failed. That's not even our fault. It was the manufacturer's fault that was chosen. And so we would love to talk to you and continue those conversations about that, but that's just a little bit of history on Ameresco. One of the paths forward is we have been awarded multiple co-ops within the state of Texas that allow you to choose and partner with us on. As part of that, we're willing to basically go out and figure out the scope of work with you as a consultant to basically pick the right technology and look at 2 or 3 different options. We've talked to staff. We think there's about 3 different options that we would kind of look through. We wouldn't charge you anything for that. We basically just want to sign a development agreement that says, hey, these are the things we're going to go do. So we're going to go figure out what the exact scope of work is, do all the evaluations, go get firm pricing, get a turnkey scope of work, bring back to you for future consideration and things, say, here are your options that you have to look forward to and really work with staff to do that. And so that's kind of where we left it today, and I really wanted to allow some time for question and answer because I'm sure you've got lots of questions, and it's probably not the news you were hoping to hear, but it's been talked about. We've been talking with staff for quite some time about this problem.
So just to clarify, 15-year contract that started August of 2016?
The contract was actually signed in 2015. We finished it, and so you would have had the warranty on the meters would have started when Mueller, I think, starts their warranty on the meters when they ship them. You would have had a 1-year workmanship from Ameresco starting in 2016.
Okay.
And your financing for this contract, I'm not sure how that was done, but I would assume it was probably a 15-year note. No? Oh, you used QECBs. So you got really good interest rates there. Yes. Okay. How long were the QECBs?
Yes.
Do you know they were 20 years or 15-year QECBs?
I can't remember. I want to say 20 years. I can go get my book and look if you want.
I don't need to
If the-
know. It's just what
I
the
know I
fund
just
was.
made a payment just on the 13th. So I know we're still paying it and I know there's several years still on that payment
Well,
plan.
and that interest rate was probably
It was a really good interest rate.
1% if I had to bet.
Well, according to my notes, it looks like we'll be paid off July 13th of 2031.
I was gonna say.
And we have 1.2 million left as of December 3rd.
Of the original 2.4?
Yeah.
Okay. So 31 would have been a 15-year note from 16? Yeah, I guess.
So 9 years, roughly 10 years into a 15-year contract, still 6 years from paying it off,
Yes.
nearly half the budget left. And now we're completely deprecated and needing to buy a new system. I'm going to ask a really pointed question here. We worked with y'all to evaluate what meters were necessary last time. And that seems to be your sales pitch this time, is you're going to help us figure it out this time. Bluntly, why should we trust you again?
So I don't think, so it's a great question and I'll take that. And again, I don't know what was there. I know that when I work with my clients, you ultimately make the decision. I've gone back and looked at notes that basically your former public works director and former staff wanted to do Mueller. We're going to do what the client wants us to do, right? We will present the data, we'll present the facts. Ultimately, the client makes the decision. And again, I can't speak for my predecessor who was here to sell that. He's passed away, but I can say that, for me in 25 years, I've never put a Mueller system in.
So the accuracy rate has been performing somewhere in the mid 70s in terms of the meter readings?
So the meter reading, so we got to differentiate between meter accuracy and meter reading. So meter reading, we'll call that is what meter reads come in to the actual system. We've seen that fluctuate, I would say, between 70 to 91, depending on what month and whether it's raining when they read meters. Meter accuracy is how accurate that meter is actually recording the data that goes through it, like on the water side. That one, when we tested it 5 years ago, was 70-something% accurate. And that's when we replaced those brass. They wouldn't replace the endpoint, but we did replace the brass, I believe.
Well, given that information, would it be accurate to assume that we have lost revenue over that amount of time?
You have.
Do we know about how much revenue we have lost?
Yes, you should have, there can be calculations done on that. And that revenue that was lost, that I know the revenue that we promised from the original baseline to where our guarantee was at 98.5, that number was enough to buy you a whole bunch of more electric meters and pay for some other stuff. So instead of us writing you a check for that, we basically used it. Your staff wanted to buy material for that to try to get this system back up and going.
So we're not missing money. It's just been estimated and then reallocated or applied to a different type of equipment.
I can't say that you're not missing revenue.
Who would be responsible for that and helping us recoup that?
Well, I don't know that you're going to recoup it because if you've got, So here's the situation. If you've got water meters today that are reading 90%, the only way to know that is go out and physically test those meters, right? You can't go back on the citizens typically and say, hey, I want the revenue that was going through that meter, right? So
No,
that,
but the company that caused the problem would be responsible for it.
so you could go after Mueller if you wanted to, that would be the only one. I know that, but again, their warranty, if you look at their warranty, some of your meters are past that warranty. Because the accuracy warranty on that was basically 98.5%. They did replace that brass when they found out that there was, but the only way you're gonna know if every citizen, you'd have to go test every single meter. Any of those meters that didn't test at 98.5% or now would be repaired meter warranty, so it'd be like 95, then you would take that meter and turn it in and they'd give you a new meter for it.
I guess a question is, you mentioned earlier that this contract was under the 302 agreement,
Mhm.
15 years. You mentioned that there was a meter accuracy guarantee and a kilowatt hour reduction guarantee. How long into the contract were those guarantees for? Was it for the entire duration or?
It's our duration of 15 years.
And so, I mean, if we're still having issues with meter accuracy,
Your issue isn't so much of meter accuracy because the water meters, we replace those. So now they're back up. Where your issue is the endpoint, the radio. The radio is what's failing. Your electric meters only had a 1-year warranty. There was no guarantee associated with that. So the water meter, it's two parts really for the ones that you currently have when you bought from Mueller. You bought think of it as the brass and then think of it the radio that's on top. When we told Mueller that they were inaccurate because we tested a certain number, they basically went in and replaced us. And so we went in and replaced that device. They would not replace the radio. What your biggest challenge is today is your radios are failing.
And they can't be replaced. There's not a radio that's compatible that we could replace the radio.
Mueller has been sending you new replacements, but it costs you labor every time to go out and replace it because it doesn't cover labor. The other challenge is the electric meters. So water is one thing. Your water is probably the best system you have right now. Your electric is where the problem is. And the electric meters, Mueller says, yeah, it's failed. I had a 1-year warranty on it. And Mueller is saying, we're not making them anymore. So we can't do anything about it. That's the unfortunate thing.
Are they planning on staying in business?
Mueller, on their water side, yes. On their electric side, no, because they're done. They've told the industry that they don't want to deal with anything with electric. Mueller's been around 100 years, and they've been around a long time. They make a lot of different stuff, but on the water side, they have, on the AMI side, they've struggled.
This question is for legal counsel. Ryan, do we have recourse?
We've discussed this already. I'd rather not discuss it in open.
Yeah, we did discuss it and you said no, but I can't remember why.
No, I don't want to discuss it in
It
open.
was enclosed.
I understand.
The water is still our
We can put it on the next agenda to go back into
99%
executive session.
accurate, right? Didn't you say the water is still not,
So the water
still problems?
replaced, the endpoints are still failing and the endpoints are not. So what you're having to do is the meter may be accurate that's in the field today, but you're not collecting the read, which means somebody's got to go manually read that. I'm sorry. I like to talk to my, so, but Mr. Dunham, back to your question, why would you choose us? Because we've stuck beside you and it's not our fault. The manufacturer failed. You chose a manufacturer as a city. We put it in, we had it all working and we've stuck beside you and hadn't made a dime on this thing for 10 years now. It's cost us a ton of money, but customer satisfaction is what we bank. I've been doing this 25 years. It's my reputation on the line. So if I'm going to sit here and work through you, I'm not going to let you pick, a certain manufacturer. There are certain manufacturers that we've talked to staff and Public Works about, and there's a couple out there that we feel very confident with. One of those has been in business for a long time, and I've put a bunch of them in, and they are able to retrofit some of your waters as an option. But again, you got a meter that has failed once before. The likelihood of it's failing again is probably going to happen. So we would recommend kind of the full replacement go with something unique.
So the
How's it go?
purpose of this presentation is information gathering.
Correct.
Mayor, I would suggest that we put this on the next council agenda. And if we have to go to closed and look at potential avenues of recourse, and yes, we have discussed this in closed before, so we'll have to go closed again, but
And we'll direct the city manager to bring us some more information as what options do we have going forward? Because we still owe $1.2 million on the old system that doesn't work. We're spending our wheels with people having to read meters. Poor Edward, I know he's at his wit's end. And then somewhere along the line, we buy a bunch of meters that don't work. Yeah, we have a whole warehouse of meters that don't work that
Correct.
somehow we were talked into buying those. And so this has been an ongoing problem for years. And thank you for the presentation. And poor city manager, interim city manager will have one more thing added to his list. I guess what we will
Any other
together, go
questions
ahead.
or
I
anything?
have a couple more questions.
Yeah, I have a
Okay.
couple too.
Go ahead, Brittany.
I'm looking on the third page of this presentation you gave us, the warranty language, the AMI meter, everything I see. This all goes back to Mueller, in agreement with Ferguson. And I'm sure that's one reason why they chose that back then, because Ferguson is a local company. Mueller was going out through them, and we were looking for convenience and ability to get things faster. But all of this points to a fact that we have no warranty, we have no nothing. There's no reason to even invest time in this. There really isn't, guys. We're not going to get anywhere out of this. Best we're gonna do is take them all out and see if they'll give us a core fee for them or sell them for scrap. And that's about it.
We have, as a, being in the industry, I've seen this happen, and unfortunately, you're correct. I mean, we've tried to go after, companies and have them replace it, and unfortunately, we have not been successful.
Question for city staff potentially, but the Water Smart portal, I know I was added to it as a beta probably a year ago. Previous city manager directly manually added me, just to kind of show what it was. Did that ever go live to the entire city? It did? Okay. Perfect. And then, whenever you are looking at the contract language and everything like that, what is the extent of the contract for the 14 years, just kind of in layman's terms of what is the point? I understand 302, it makes it easier to purchase and we don't have to get a bid for the meters and everything like that. But what is the point of utilizing a company like yours and going under a 15-year contract for performance? And also at the same time, why were you all willing to offer the guarantees you offered with a company that you personally are not comfortable with?
And again, it's a personal, that was my statement, just because I've been in the business a long time and have seen, pretty conservative on that spot. I can't speak for my predecessors, here. They obviously had done projects with Mueller. A lot of people have done projects with Mueller across the country, and they were working. So I can't, at the time when the decision was made, everybody felt like it was an okay and good decision, including your staff, right? And so to put the 302 layman's terms, let's try to answer that question a little bit. We offered a guarantee on, Amoresco offered a guarantee on meter accuracy for the water meters, okay? Without 302, if you would have done a standard, put out an RFP and get a bid, all of this, you'd have been spending money left and right and not had anybody like us working on your behalf for that. So you would, all of that revenue that you lost, those dollars that we talked about, you'd have lost them and nobody would have paid you anything for them. Nobody would have bought the extra meter. Nobody would have been with staff to help you through this. Because we had that guarantee and because Amoresco's reputation is on the line of standing behind our clients, that's why we're here. And that's one of the things that we feel like, hey, we've proven to you that we're willing to stick it out, and we're not, we've probably spent $700,000-800,000 on a project that was $2 million for us, So it's because of our reputation. I mean, we've done 100 of these. We don't have bad product because the only thing we have to sell, we don't have a product to sell. The only thing we have to sell is a reputation and to do a good job. We did a great job on the front end. We put everything in, we had everything working. Unfortunately for both of us, the manufacturer just failed us. And that's unfortunately for both of us where we're sitting. Believe me, we've talked to your staff about, hey, we're right behind you. You know, it's gonna be hard because of the warranties. So, you know, you look at their electric meter warranty, it's 1-year warranty. You look at the endpoints at a 10-year full, 10-year prorated. We're at that 10-year mark, which is why we're here saying, hey, there's really not much more. Now it's going to decline because in year 11, you're going to have to start paying a whole lot more. So it's time to look at doing something. And finally got Mueller to basically say, we're not supporting the water. We got a year, maybe 2 at most
Electric?
on the, yeah, and the software. So
I just
basically,
want to clarify, you
Yeah.
said not support the water, but did you mean to say not support the electric?
well, they're telling us they're going to support the water, but the software is kind of all tied together. So we don't know when they're going to turn it off.
Is this situation, I mean, with y'all's company, is it unique to us? Are there other cities like this or?
So with our company, this is unique with Amoresco. The company I used to work with had 4 or 5 of these, all with the same product,
All the Mueller?
unfortunately.
And so Amoresco, this is the only city Mueller that Amoresco has put these products into.
I'd have to go back and look. I'm not aware of any other Mueller solutions that we have on manufacturers. I know in my 6 years here, none.
And as far as, if I can interject for a
Absolutely.
second, as far as the no longer supporting date, and Jill or Jennifer, please correct me if I'm wrong. I thought it was March of 27. Is that correct? Or February, March of 27. So at that point, they're cutting the lights off, essentially. In terms of
Maybe we should
reporting.
use different verbiage there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the power won't be shut off, but the
Yes.
manual metering will be.
Let me be more direct. They will no longer support the program
Okay.
and lights will not be cut off. They will no
We're
longer
got up really fast.
program.
Let me help you out too, just to, because I want to clarify this too, because this got said earlier. The meters that we have at the warehouse are not, they are not defective. They work. They just are repeaters and our radios and stuff that send it through the software and everything is not what's working. So the meters are fine. They're still usable. What we're saying is come February or March of 27, there's no way for us to actually get the readings to come to City Hall and get all the data information we need. We're going to have manually people go out and read everything once again, get it in on time. The girls are going to have to go and figure out how to, correspond all the readings and all the multipliers, all the stuff, all the good things that have to happen that go through the system. That's what's going to have to happen. So we
That's a
can
good point of
still,
clarification. The meters physically will work.
the meters will physically work.
But we have to have software and the rest of the components to make those work.
If you don't want people to go out and have to read them manually and bring them back like the Stone Age when we started.
How many meters do we have in the 1,700?
Quite a few,
Yeah.
almost 2,000.
And how many do we need to support the amount of customers we have?
All of them, 2,000. Yeah, because again, I mean, Mueller's not going to support the system no more. So, I mean, it's going to be down in the dirt, I mean, it's just going to be back to old school. People driving in trucks and going out and getting an actual meter reading every month.
Well-
What's going to happen is they won't read the same meter on the same date of every month. So people are going to go out there and today they read on the 10th, but next month they might not read on the 20th. So guess what? That's 40 days in their readings that they're going to be coming back with to get a reading. They're going to be like, oh my God, my bill's so high. What happened?
And then the next month.
Or vice versa. They're going to read on the 10th today, but then they might be getting read on the 30th again of the same month. I don't know. I'm just using examples and their bill's going to be low. And guess what? They're not going to say nothing to us. They're going to be like, cool, I got a cheap bill this month, and the next month it's going to hit them again. So it's a weird deal to go through.
So I know that there's issues with the handhelds and I mean, say we were to consider working with you again. Obviously, you know that there's other cities that had this system in place. Maybe some have already started transitioning away from it. Do you think you can put us in touch with someone to see if we can get some of the handhelds until then, just to help?
Oh, I don't think they're
That
even
they are,
available.
they are obsolete.
Yeah.
It's a done deal.
Trying to
The
find.
handhelds don't work.
We had two of them. We had two handhelds when all this started, and both of them are completely gone. We had to get, I think Mueller sent us a used one years ago, and we've patched the thing up to get it in. And the bad thing is, it's the only thing that helps us insert the meter into the system is you have to have the handheld or whatever. And now it's going to the dirt. It's not. So there's no way for us to actually put a new meter in the system.
And I guess that's, if they've already transitioned out, maybe they still have that. I mean,
When we talked
tried.
to Mueller, I think on that, you guys are the only one in Texas that has Mueller electric system.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and when we were at TML, I talked to all of the different companies at the conference, and Mueller was a bad word coming out of their mouth. There
Oh.
was no one there wanted to talk about Mueller.
Okay. We're good. I just wanted to help you clarify.
There's-
You good?
We have some answers to get.
Yeah, and just to let council know, we have been having these discussions internally already. There is a whole nother aspect of this problem downstream that utility billing could speak to. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but we've had some discussions, some of which have been mentioned, which is irregular billing, high and low bills, having to manually read a third and then reread some of those. And we're, using a person who we actually use only for that time frame just to get those meter readings. We're patching, we're patching things as we go along, but it is not efficient or effective, obviously. And the whole point of AMI is to have instantaneous readings at the exact same time for everyone so that we can produce bills at the exact same time without fluctuations like what we're seeing. So it's not the end of the world, but it is an uncomfortable world moving forward if we don't address it at some point.
It's almost like with our projected growth and where we sit currently, we can't afford to patch our systems like this. We're already having people complain about their readings. I hear it. I'm sure we all hear it, but it's not fair to our residents. It's not fair to any of us. It's not fair to you. But we're gonna have, I feel like it needs to be
So
address it as a whole system opposed to any kind of patching or borrowing or buying these parts and things like that. I know that's easy to say because we have to find the money, but I just think it's like starting from scratch here.
yeah. And it's kind of like what Brandon said earlier, about the portal for these things, the water meter, the electric meters or whatever. The whole purpose too is for the community, the people, they're able to get online, look at their bills, and when their bill's high, they can read and they can see a graph, or they can see what electric they're using, what water, if it's leaking, it's supposed to notify them. It's supposed to do all these different things to help people, get down and keep their bills lower and stuff. They're calling us and they're like, hey, my meter's messed up, come test it. Well, there's technically no way for us to test these digital electric meters without pulling them and sending them off and never getting them back and putting in a new meter. That's just not going to help us. We need that software to see so we know what's going on. Is it our side? Is it their side? That's what it tells everybody.
In our conversations with staff, we've kind of looked at just to you mentioned money. You mentioned money basically. And so in the conversations we've had with staff, you're probably looking budget wise somewhere between 1.8 to $3 million, depending on what all you replace and how phased or how full. If you're doing full replacement, which is where we would recommend you take, you're probably looking at the $3 million, a little over $3 million. But again, we would want to go out in the field, figure out exactly what we need to make it work, evaluate the different technologies that were out there. But based on what we see in the industry, that's probably the number.
and then, are there any options for warranty that will be consistent with your performance contract as far as length?
warranty on electric or water?
On the entire system that we're discussing right now.
Yeah, so electric meters unfortunately don't have long warranties, right? There are different technologies. One of the technologies that we're looking at, the radios, would be a 20-year prorated warranty. There is on the water meters, there actually is the new solid state technology that's out there is a 20-year accuracy warranty that we've been warranting and guaranteeing as well, up to 20 years. The electric side, the industry is just not there for those type of warranties. So, you know, we might be able to get a 2-3 year warranty. I don't see us getting a 15-year warranty on the electric system. Now, one of the things that we've talked to staff about is you have a system that's called a mesh, which means everything's relying on the electric meter, a lot of the transmission to go through. One of the solutions staff we've brought to staff and we've talked to them about is one that doesn't rely on the electric, so that if an electric meter failed, it's one point of failure, not mass failures where you lose 5 or 10 electric, you know, water meters that feed through that. So this would basically, the electric meter would be kind of standalone, the water meter would be standalone. And that particular manufacturer that I know we've had discussions about actually has the ability to talk to multiple water meter manufacturers. So if you wanted to use manufacturer A or manufacturer B or manufacturer C, you could. So if there was a problem with production, or if you had mass failures like this, you would still be able to use the radio. You wouldn't be able to use, we could buy a different type of meter. So it gives you some flexibility in the future. And that's what we kind of talk to staff, what we've seen.
And that was actually exactly the question I was going to ask, is there, if there was some non-proprietary options out there?
There's a couple options that we've talked to staff about that we would encourage you to kind of look at.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And I would like to thank Amoresco. They were scheduled to attend or present at this last special meeting that we had, but there were some conflicts in schedule and they wanted to make sure that they came back. So I appreciate you for that.
And thank you for
Thank you so
enlightening,
much.
yes,
Thank you,
enlightening
Jen.
us.
Yeah, and sorry, it was deliver bad news. Like I said, I've been learning this the last 2 years or 3 years that I've been working. Like, I've been reading documents, and like I said, if you want meeting minutes, we can give you meeting minutes and notes, and you can read as much as you
We've
want.
been dealing with this for a while. Poor Edward.
Yeah, poor Edward and staff.
Staff, sorry, girls. I didn't mean to leave y'all out because
They've been dealing with it. Thank y'all. Appreciate it. And if any more questions come up, feel free. Staff's got my card. I'll be more than happy to come back and talk about anything you want to do.
So Mayor, as an action item, can we get this on next month's agenda? And Jeremy, would you be able to put together a proposal that solves for this? Is that enough time?
I can put together options that we've already discussed with Amoresco, yes. But
I
if
mean,
you
I
want
don't know how
outside
my colleagues
options,
feel, but we need to do something quickly.
yes,
Mhm. Yep.
2026 is here and yes,
yes.
thank you, Jeremy. We're on proclamations. Next proclamation is Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Jimmy, will you lead us, please?
This is a proclamation for Dr. Martin Luther King Day, Jr. Day, 2026. Whereas Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. challenged our nation to recognize that our individual liberty relies upon our common equality, and whereas at a time where our nation was sharply divided, Dr. King called on a generation of Americans to be voices of reason, sanity, and understanding amid the voices of violence, hatred, and emotion. And whereas Dr. King devoted his life to the struggle for justice and equality, sowing seeds of hope for a day when all people might claim the riches of freedom and security of justice. And whereas on the Martin Luther King Jr. federal holiday, we commensurate the 40th anniversary of the holiday signed into law in 1983 and first observed in 1986, recognizing one of America's greatest visionary leaders. And whereas in 1963, now 63 years ago, Dr. King delivered the iconic I Have a Dream speech, which reminds us to recognize that in these challenging times, too many Americans face limited opportunities, but our capacity to support each other remains limitless, allowing us to face challenges with the same strength, persistence, and determination exhibited by Dr. King. And whereas the American people are called to engage in public service and promote nonviolent social change so that Dr. King's unfinished movement towards equality can be achieved in our united, enduring efforts. And whereas all citizens are urged to join in the 37th Annual Bastrop Martin Luther King Junior Holiday Commission Walk for Peace, Justice, and Equality on January 19th, 2026 in Elgin, beginning at 10 a.m. at Veterans Memorial Park, 109 Depot Street, and an ending at about 11 a.m. at the Booker T. Washington Elementary School, 510 Martin Luther King Boulevard, where the program will be held. And whereas all citizens are also urged to join with Bastrop High School, Smithville High School, Elgin High School, McDade High School, Cedar Creek High School, and Colorado River Collegiate Academy in supporting the scholarship program during the annual walk. And whereas the walk theme is a day on, not a day off, whereby our community celebrates the life and legacy of Dr. King. Now therefore,
I, Sharon Forrester, Mayor of the City of Smithville, Texas, do hereby proclaim Monday, January 19th, 2026 as Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Thank you. Our next presentation is It's Texas Time. Come on, help me.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, Kathy. Kathy's already excited.
In recognition of city staff commitment to the 2025 It's Time Texas Community Challenge, whereas the city of Smithville cares about the health and well-being of its employees, and whereas the city of Smithville leadership recognizes the importance that employer encouragement can make in terms of employee participation in health-related activities, and whereas city staff participated with enthusiasm in the It's Time Texas Community Challenge every year since 2018. And whereas the city of Smithville has won the It's Time Texas Community Challenge for 7 consecutive years in the extra small community category, population between 1 and 5,000, and logging over 1 million points with over 100 community participants. And whereas many city employees were among the top 20 on the ITT leaderboard for Smithville, and whereas as an employer, the city of Smithville ranked in the top 20, and whereas the ITT challenge activities led to greater team building among the city hall and other city staff participants, and whereas the city team decided to continue with some of the daily activities that they had started due to the positive impact on the group throughout the day. And now, therefore, the city of Smithville proclaims its support for city staff and residents who have made this such a fun and engaging community program. Each participant is presented with a medallion for their efforts and to encourage them to continue to make their health a priority every day.
Thank you. And our next is the Smithville Career Tracks Quarterly Update. I see part of their staff is here. Hi, Janice.
Hi, Janice.
Happy New Year.
Happy
Year.
New Year.
Happy
Welcome,
New Year.
welcome,
City
Martha.
Council.
Hi, Martha.
I'll introduce my 2 program managers shortly. I just want to say Happy New Year to you all. And after that last briefing that Amoresco gave, I thought, oh my God, this is going to be a great opportunity for career tracks because we could start training some meter readers
Oh,
and or radio operators, one of the two. Tonight, we're going to give you a brief presentation based upon what we say quarterly. We're going to come and brief you all. So tonight, we're going to talk a little bit about our healthcare collaborative and our culinary collaborative that we have in the 4 counties. But before we get started, I just want to make an announcement that we are going to do a large ribbon cutting. In fact, Mayor Forrester is going to be speaking on Thursday, the 22nd of January at the Career Tracks Regional Training Center, which is at 404 Bravo Fawcett Street. Thank you, 911. We are at 404 Alpha, where we have our facility. And that night is going to be from 4 to 7. We have 11 chambers that are participating. I've got like 6 RSVPs, so all of them will bring their ribbons. Bastrop Chamber is going to be the lead as far as bringing the scissors. And we've got speakers, Representative Stan Gertis, and we've got Mayor Forrester. We've got the CEO and president of Cybertex Institute of Technology, who we have leased that building to for the next 4 years. They're going to be teaching medical assistant and HVAC, and they're going to kick off the training sometime in May, June timeframe. So we're really, really excited. We also had a flagpole donated by Woodman Insurance. Did I get that right? Steve Schroeder. Got life insurance. And so we're going to do a flag raising ceremony starting at 4. The ribbon cutting will be at 4:30. After the ribbon cutting, we'll have some folks speak. Like I said, the mayor, you're on the docket to speak. I believe city manager, you wanted to say a few words, but you only get like 2 or 3 minutes. And if you don't want to say a few words, that's okay too. Because we got a lot of speakers. And then after that, Chabot Catering has said that they will in kind donate the refreshments for that evening. So it'll go till about 7 o'clock. So we're really, really excited. Thursday, January 22nd, all of you should have already received an email invitation. And on that invitation, there should have been a QR code for donations. So that'd be wonderful too. And we look forward to seeing you. So I want to go ahead and introduce Miss Martha Chabot. Many of you all know Martha. She's our program manager for our Bastrop County Healthcare Workforce Collaborative. So she's going to give you a quick overview. Currently, Career Tracks is running a huge grant with the St. David's Foundation. This is part of it. It's a $2 million grant over 2 years. She's going to go into a little bit of detail. And then we also had received what was called the Texas Talent Culinary Grant through Texas Workforce Commission. So that grant, we have Ms. Brenda Hernandez, and she's going to give you an overview of her program. So thank you very much for your attention, and I look forward to having Martha give her beautiful presentation.
Hello, everyone. Thank you.
Did you bring snacks?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't. I'm sorry, but you can go to the hospital tomorrow and get them. So, so Martha Chabot, I'm the project manager over the grant for Bastrop County. We're in partnership with the Bastrop County Health Department and 7 collaboratives. This grant was a $2 million grant that we were given to train in any healthcare industry for Bastrop County only. They need to live in Bastrop County, and after they complete training, they will work in Bastrop County for 1 year. So as of to date, everything's changed because this report I gave to the county was from November. So that's kind of the gist of it. We do everything from CNAs to surgical techs to EMTs, EMRs, every field that's related in healthcare. So as of, this was in November, we did the report, was 84 students. As of today, we have 120 enrolled. Out of those students, that's the number amount that we've paid in scholarships. So how it works is they have to be eligible, 1, live in Bastrop County, and then agree to work in Bastrop County. And they come in, we do an orientation, do a intake, and they choose what training they want to go to. If they're already enrolled, like we have several RN, LVN students that are already attending colleges that we help pay. We have a set amount that we pay up to. It was a cap at $3,000, but now we've gone higher because of a lot of the trainings, the dollars have changed. So we are going up to now $5,000. So the average student as in November was $1,600. It is about $1,800 now. And as of this morning, we were only supposed to do 125 students, but Bastrop County has approved more funding, and we're now going to go over to 150 or above per year. So it's over the 2 years. So they have to be in the ALICE survival threshold. So they have to be the low income based on family size. So this kind of shows our numbers that we're doing. Majority of them are all under or between the 25 to 39. And 60% are entering the healthcare field for the first time. 40% are doing upskilling that are already in there. They're either getting more certificates or they're going from LVN to RN, the bridge type programs. And yeah, that's fine. This shows you the areas that we're serving right now, the percentages. And these are the type of scholarship type programs that we're doing, from EMR, registered nurse, medical assistant, all those that goes on down the list. So we've got we're pretty much hitting every field in the medical industries that are out there. And these are the training providers that we're using right now. And we have acquired a few more in the meantime of new students that are enrolling. You can change it. And these are some of our local employers that we're using staff that we're upskilling. When I say upskilling, these are employers that I'm working with that I'm going to and asking, do they have any employees that need certificates or want to do like the last resort has a lot of, we've got several there that are actually going through LCDC licensed chemical dependents. They were actually just care techs out there that are now getting their LCDC. These are the opportunities that we're working with our collaborative. So with this grant also, we have 7 different collaboratives that we're working with. Bastrop County Cares, Texas Public, I can say their name, all Workforce Solutions. But as collaboratives together, we're all coming together to figure out how we can collaborate to address any needs, concerns, problems, that how we can make this program successful, all come together and work together. And these are the major challenges that we are finding through our students and our customers that, of course, are transportation, because a lot of them are in the rural areas trying to get to the training providers. Daytime courses, because a lot of them have to work. So we're working very hard to get providers, which we have 2 new ones that will be coming that are going to do night classes. So, and then the limited training providers. For example, there's only one school in this area that does dental assistant, and that's in LaGrange. So we're working with a lot of different training providers, trying to bring them to Smithville, Bastrop, but mainly Smithville to offer classes. So like I said, numbers have changed as of today. We have 120 enrolled. But what was not reported in this, we had a CNA class that we brought. It's Williams Training Academy. They did a class, started in December. We trained 5 CNAs that are in clinicals now that will all go work at Towers. We start phlebotomy classes, and that's in Bastrop, but we have 14 enrolled in that, and they're going to be doing a 6-week course that starts in January. And then January 3rd, we started an ELS licensed chemical dependence counseling course, and we have 14 enrolled in that, and they are all have jobs already out at Last Resort here in Smithville. And then we have an EMT class, and this is a new provider that we are working with. They're called Texas Health Shield out of Hallettsville, but they're going to be having their training in Smithville at our workforce center, and that's going to be an 8-week course, and they have 20 enrolled for that. So, and then we also have, I told you about the phlebotomy as well. So we'll definitely make our numbers at 150 this year, because the phone has not stopped ringing, so we're doing great. It's really neat. So we hired another case manager too, because we're so busy trying to keep up with the vouchers in the school, and we have to get their grades and have to, we case manage them as well. So that's it. It's very exciting. So you're welcome. Any questions? Nothing? All right. Thank you.
I'm Brenda Hernandez, Program Manager for Career Tracks. The Texas Talent Connection Culinary Grant is mine, granted for $331,000. This training program initiative is to coordinate with employees, employers, and their staff, and myself at Career Tracks to help acquire new hires if they need it. We use their current employees. This grant is to prepare and provide employers and employees. 40 participants will receive their ServSafe Handler license or ServSafe certificate for management. It's a 10-week program that includes 4 weeks of culinary training and 6 weeks of on-the-job training and a successful certificate at the end of that 10-week program. Eligible requirements must be 16 years of age, eligible to work in the United States, and be registered in the Selective Service if you are male. I'll keep going. The following is the status of my budget, 331,744 for the year, starting in September 15th of 2025 through August of 26. There are 10 restaurants with 4 participants per restaurant. This cohort 1 and 2, those are restaurants. I've secured 1 and 2. They've completed their 10-week program for September. I'm working on round 2 in November. I have Darlin's Diner and Catering by Chabot, and that's in process right now. Cohort 5 and 6 are secure. 7 and 8, I have 1 opening in April and 2 more openings in May that I need 3 restaurants total out of the 10 to go ahead and fulfill that. So I have some time. I'm working on that connection. And these next 2 slides goes into the process of payments, certifications that I'm securing, and quarterly reports that I submit to Texas Workforce Commission, and data entry. Here is JD's, that's cohort 1 Sports Grill, opening in 2019. And this is the owner, John Tohill. I'm not sure if you've been to JD's in LaGrange, Texas, but it's a wonderful place. It's cute. Wonderful food. Hamburger steak, fresh green beans, mashed potatoes, fried mushrooms, live music on Friday. You just have to go there. You can't miss it. Wonderful staff of 35. It's a great place to be. And he's also participating and working on opening a second restaurant. So that's going to be amazing. Our second cohort that has completed the 10-week program is Texas One Stop. Miss Missy Rusek is the owner. Wonderful owner, wonderful mentor. Absolutely wonderful barbecue. You wouldn't think the barbecue pit is on the premises, but it is. So they are up early in the morning, cooking all night. You can't miss it. Stop by LaGrange. It's off of 159 on the way to Round Top. Her staff is wonderful. She is an absolute doll to work with. Stop on in. Cohort 3, Darlin's Diner, is my current cohort. Miss Taylor Sweeney. She is the owner, opened in 2020. She has wonderful French toast, mashed potatoes, hash browns, bacon, biscuits, everything's handmade, so it's wonderful. Stop on in. She has a staff of 4 that's going to town in the back. They're young, they're vibrant, and on tap and ready to go. And lastly, best for last, Mr. Chabot, Chef John Chabot at Chabot Catering. Also serving Ascension Hospital, Bistro 71. I think we've all been there. Excellent chef. That crew is the dream team. They are just streamlined, going for it, going for gold. They serve the patients at this hospital, the staff, and a majority of their walk-ins are there for the food. It's excellent. And I've gained 10 pounds since I started this program.
If I may interject a personal experience there on that paragraph, the last paragraph, where they take a personalized approach to feeding patients, and staff goes to each room and asks, "What do you feel like eating today?" I had the pleasure of staying there for 7 nights, days one time, and they literally came to me and asked me what I wanted for each meal.
That's why he stayed there
And
7
I,
nights.
well, I asked for an extension. Insurance said no, but that is an absolute testament. They come to you and say, "What would you like to eat today?"
Mhm. And it's awesome. It's great food. Love it. Any questions?
I think we're all good. That's all good.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Thank you to your hardworking crew over at the workforce. Oh, no, it's not. It's called, we have a new name, the Smithfield Career Tracks. Thank you for all your hard work. And we look. And we move on. Approval of the minutes from December 8th, 2025 council meeting and public hearing on December 19th, 2025, special call council meeting. We have a chance to read over it, guys?
We did, Mayor, and I'd be happy to offer a motion here.
Do you know I gotta call your name? Okay, make me a motion.
Well, I'd first like to say that I love the new and more detailed format, Jennifer, that you put forth here. This really looks good, and it captures more of the specifics of what's been going on during the meetings. And thank you very much. And with that, I move approval of the minutes of the December 8th and December 19th council meeting and special call council meetings as presented.
Second.
Motion's been made in second. Councilman Durham,
Yes.
Meek,
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
It's approved. Do I have anybody signed up for public comments? Nobody signed up for public comments, so number 8. Discussion and action on certificate appropriateness for our Hannah Teague at 117 Main Street, Historic Preservation and Designs.
Hello there.
Wow, wow. I didn't know you were there.
Boo.
Hello, Monica. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Monica. I'm the chair, Monica Poss, in fact, Chair of the Historic Preservation Design Standards Advisory Committee. And we had a December 17th. I live on Bishop Street, if I have to say that too. Yes, so certificate appropriateness for signage at 117 Main, which will be EXO by Hannah. And that, the recommendation from HPDS passed unanimously. Do you want me to move on to the next one?
Okay, go to the next one.
Okay, next one, certificate of appropriateness for many items at 110 Main Street, which will be Fair La Nube. Kind of excited about that one because they are really fixing up that building. And I think you've got a list of the items. We recommended approval of all those items unanimously with the proviso that the windows, front windows remain large one-pane picture windows and not with mullions, which is recommended in our historic standards design book that we follow, that was made just for Smithville. And the last one is we have 2 vacant spots on our committee. We had 7 applicants, which was really amazing, especially since nobody ever comes to these meetings. So it was remarkable that so many people wanted to be there, you know, where y'all are. Yeah. 4 of those applicants showed up, including one who was likely to be tapped by the chamber. So we set his application aside. A couple of people on the committee spoke up about their very positive experiences with Aaron Cornett in the community or at the Heritage Society. The other two people who had come to the meeting, the applicants, after hearing what people had to say about Aaron, they withdrew their applications and said, hey, she sounds awesome. So Aaron was recommended for approval unanimously by the committee. Any questions?
You took care of 8, 9, and 10 on here, so
I'm trying to be efficient.
for the next 3 items, y'all good? All right, thank you. So number 8 is discussion and action on certificate of appropriateness for Hannah Teague at 117 Main Street. Any questions?
Need a motion, Mayor?
Yes.
I make a motion that we approve a certificate of appropriateness for Hannah Teague at 117 Main Street.
Second that.
Motion's been made in second. Councilman Dunham.
Yes.
Meek.
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Approved. Discussion and action on certificate appropriateness for Rachel Tolbert at 1110 Main Street. I'll entertain a motion. Do you have any questions?
Mayor, I make a motion on a certificate of appropriateness for Rachel Tolbert at 110 Main Street.
I'll second that.
Motion been made in second. Councilman Dunham.
Yes.
Meek.
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Approved. Discussion and action on appointment or reappointment of the members of Historic Preservation Design Standards Advisory Committee. Monica Post, the chairman of the committee. She has nominated Aaron Cornett. Any discussion or change?
Question,
No?
it's not my place to discuss, but just a question. Thought you said 2 vacant spots. So is it 2
Are we?
or 1?
Yes, please. That's what's going to call you up to answer it anyway.
All right. We do have 2 vacant spots. One of those spots is the chamber's spot to recommend someone, to place someone.
Over to the chamber, so you're just recommending one, which is Aaron.
We are, because at the time, at that meeting, we told Mike Reynolds, who did get up to speak for a few minutes, was likely to be the chamber's nominee, but we weren't told that he was definitively the chamber's nominee, so the
So with this
committee did not vote on it.
Okay.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thank you. Okay, so back to, we're going to appoint Aaron Cornett and go ahead.
Mayor, I make a motion to appoint Aaron Cornett to the member of the Historic Preservation and Design Standards Advisory Committee.
I'll second that.
Motion been made in second. Councilman Dunham,
Yes.
Meek,
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Approved. Discussion and action on appointment, reappointment of members to the Smithville Airport Advisory Board. The Airport Advisory Board serves advisory capacity to the city manager and the airport manager, which is Sandy Meyerson, and the matters pertaining to the administration, the operation, development, improvement, and maintenance of the airport. And we spoke to everyone being reappointed, and they are glad to take on the next term. So I'll entertain a motion of the ones being is Sandy Meyerson, and then Forrest Sanderson, Johnny Briggs, and Ron Spencer, and they all want to remain on the board. I'm sorry, one more time.
The last three behind you.
Oh, yes, and they'll all be, I'm sorry. Peck, Hill, and Sterling are also, yes, thank you. I missed that part. So that will be our board then, for the Airport Advisory Board.
Okay. So Impact, Travis Hill, Sterling. Okay. Mayor, I make a motion for reappointment of Ken Peck, Travis Hill, and James Sterling to the Airport Advisory Board.
I second that motion.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded. I gotta find my place back.
If I may,
Go ahead.
I don't have any information about these people. I don't believe. Do you?
My packet doesn't match that.
They're in another.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I thought they were all together.
I didn't
Never
read
mind.
anything.
Yeah, okay. I missed this one.
I spoke with them and they are all, Sandy Meyerson is happy with their participation and he is our airport manager. And
Okay.
so,
Never mind.
no, you're good. I have a second, right?
Yes, you do.
Councilman Dunham,
Yes.
Meek,
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
I'll call them, let them know that they are to remain working hard. For number 12, discussion and action on appointment, reappointment of members to the Smithville Hospital Authority Board. The Smithville Hospital Authority shall govern by a board of directors consisting of 7 members, 3 directors, place 2, 4, and 6 shall be appointed by the city council, and board of directors shall appoint 4 members, 1, 3, 5, and 7. Each of the said directors shall serve a term of 2 years. Vacancies shall be filled for unexpired terms. Places 1, 3, and 5, and 7 shall be appointed for terms ending in even numbers, and places 2, 4, and 6 shall be appointed for terms ending in odd numbers. All terms shall expire February 3rd. The following appointments are being recommended. If approved, these reappointments will expire in February 2027. Ann Fulcher, and I spoke with Ann, and she is willing to serve again on the hospital board. Mark Bunny and Jimmy Trousdale, all 3 of them would like to be reappointed to the hospital board authority.
Mayor, I make a motion that we reappoint Mark Bunty, Jim Trousdale, and Ann Fulcher to the Smithville Hospital Authority Board.
I second that motion.
A motion's been made in second. Councilman Dunham,
Yes.
Meek,
Yes.
Jenkins,
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
It's approved. Discussion and action on an interlocal cooperative agreement with Bastrop County for paving, hauling of dirt and sand to various locations and operational costs shared by the brush dump. Jeremy?
Thank you, Mayor. This is an ongoing discussion that we want to make sure that we get right. The county has been a great partner. I've been told historically and that's been my experience presently as well. And I want to make sure that we get this agreement correct. So I would ask if the council would consider tabling this to the next meeting. We do have a draft so far that we're working on, but it's not complete.
So we'll take that in consideration and we're going to table it to the next meeting.
Please.
Next item is discussion and action on license agreement for joint use of pole between the city of Smithville and Spectrum Gulf Coast LLC. Can you share some information?
Yes, so, and our attorney can feel free to speak to this as well. Essentially, we own the poles in the community and we dictate the terms under which any party would attach to those poles. We've drafted a document, or our city attorney has drafted a document that he has sent to Spectrum, I think in this case, and they've reviewed it. Their legal counsel has reviewed it and they've agreed to the terms that we've proposed. There was some back and forth, but all parties are in agreement at this point, so we would recommend approval. And the city attorney can speak to that further if you have further questions.
Any questions? Make the motion?
Yep. Mayor, I make a motion that we make a license agreement for joint pole use, for joint use of poles between the city of Smithville and Spectrum Gulf Coast LLC.
I'll second that motion.
A motion's been made in second. Councilman Dunham,
Yes.
Meek. Yes. Jenkins,
Yes.
Washington,
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
I don't know why I get y'all too confused. Discussion on a call for applications for the Bastrop County Health Advisory Board. All right, Jimmy Jenkins, lay it on us.
All right, last year, I believe it was in April, we appointed, Cassidy Penn to serve on the, advisory board for the Bastrop County Public Health. It is coming up again, so I would like to put out the notice for anyone that wants to, put into that, so we could put that on the next agenda, get that done and out of the way. And I think that's in your little ballpark, is it not, Miss Jennifer?
Yeah.
So that's where we are with it.
And that was just for information for information only, and then we look forward to anybody who is interested, just please let us know, reach out to Jennifer, and we'll get your applications and we'll go over them. Thank you. And then we go on to discussion and action on the ordinance to create a Parks and Recreation Board. This is something that Kathy Meeks has worked hard on, and we have a draft for it.
Jennifer, what are we doing with the ordinance tonight? I thought we did that last month.
So we did it in November, October, November, and then there was some very specific language that you had changed.
Right.
We just wanted to bring it back, let you review it. Ryan's office has already looked at it and
Okay.
just make sure that it's codified the way y'all wanted it. That's why there's the November dates on there, is that's when it was originally approved, but we wanted to bring it.
We need to reread any portions, or what do we need to do to pass, go ahead and?
At least 5?
I think it was the one that we were, it was taking off the directors and any employee, and it was saying that the place 4 or 5 was gonna be in the school could be in the school district.
But didn't have to be a resident.
Yes.
Correct.
It didn't, yeah, and so that, yeah, there was a residency requirement in the paragraph above that applied to the subsections, and so it became a little confusing.
Okay.
whether that they needed to be a resident or not, and so that was cleaned up to make sure that's what you want.
Okay.
And then if that's what you want, you just, move to make the correction.
So we could approve as
That's correct.
as corrected.
So you're looking at on A, B, C, D, E is the part that you're talking about.
Yes.
Yeah, and then specifically, it's D, place 4 will be within the school district. That's the only one that can be within the school district. The other ones are in the city limits. Am I correct in that? Okay.
There was a question that if they were a resident, could you still do it if we only had people that applied within the city, but
They're also in the school district,
that
then
are
that-
us? Okay,
that's fine.
So then that's,
Okay.
okay, that was the question.
So this is the same language that I changed, and now we're just approving it, and you've approved it, so we should be good to go.
Correct.
Okay. I don't have any, pardon me?
We need action. We need a motion.
Okay,
You want me to do that? You want?
go ahead. You want to do it? Okay. I make a motion to approve the ordinance to the revised ordinance to create a Parks and Recreation Board.
Second.
Motion's been made in second. All in, oh wait, I gotta go. Councilman Dunham.
Yes.
Meek,
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Are we good?
Yes.
Discussion and action on appointment to the Parks and Recreation Board. Do we have,
We need a motion first before discussion on the applicants.
No, I think we can discuss them and then
Okay.
go into a motion.
So there were copies of the applicants in our packet. Does anyone want to discuss? We want to bring them up to be introduced at this time.
I don't believe Mark or Doug is here. Mr. Wilkie is here, but you're yes. Miss Leslie, are you here? Well, Chris, you want to come up and make a big old speech?
Thank you for consideration. I've been an active member for the rec center for 7 years. We go to the park quite a bit in the summertime. What I would like to bring to this is keep the great stuff we have going. Okay, the rec center has nice programs. The youth program is exceptional. Our granddaughter has gone from here to now select softball. Okay, the park, I think there's a lot we can do with that. Okay, it's a great value. It's just a matter of focusing on it. What I'd like to see in the rec center is specifically creative thoughts, and there are no creative thoughts. How do we maximize utility of that facility, which is a great facility? How do we maximize that utility? We spend what, $500,000 a year on that, okay? So how do we maximize that? So my background, good or bad, is creative thinking. Some of it's good and some of it, why would you do that? Okay, so I'm excited to be a participant in that, so thank you for consideration.
Thank you for the enthusiasm.
What about?
I have a question.
Oh, sure.
Not Chris, but these others that are over here, are they, can they be included on this? Because they did others, so they wanted any of the different ones. Am I correct? Okay.
Is Anamika here?
Sorry. She is interested. She wasn't able to make it today. She texted me earlier and said, please extend her, her hope and all the things she'd really like to serve. So
Okay,
conveying that.
thanks, Jill. Doug Leyendecker, is he here? I don't see him.
Yeah, I don't think
Okay.
he is.
I spoke to him. He's definitely interested.
And he talks a lot, so.
Jimmy, you want to meet these folks, Doug, right?
I know Doug.
Oh,
You know,
okay,
and
but
I know Kayla Smith. I know Mark Bunting.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Chris.
Sure.
Kristen Barrow.
Hi, Kristen. I'm sorry I skipped your name.
It's all right. I'm a new
Thanks, Kristen.
resident to Smithville, but I live over on Gresham Street. And one thing that I have been part of in previous communities is I know how important the Parks and Rec is toward building community in Smithville. And the community is what brought my husband and I to the community, and we want to be part of that. By trade, I'm an insurance regulator, so I'm, very familiar with the regulatory side of things. But on a personal level, I'm involved in the Native Plant Society of Texas in the Bastrop chapter. So in terms of, say, beautification of our parks, I can play a role in talking about native plants, using native plants to reduce our water usage for the city, but also just as another tool to help build community. So I hope I can be of service to Smithville, and I look forward to working with you all. Thank you.
We appreciate your willingness to volunteer and bring your skill set. Thank you very much.
Now, does not
For
Kristen
clarity,
Barrow, does she hit, she hits the school district one, does she not? Is it Kristen that lives outside?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
No, Kristen's.
Oh.
Yeah, Gresham.
No,
No, then no.
no, that was,
Kayla.
Kayla Smith is
Kayla
outside
Smith,
the
that's
city
what I-
limits.
Sorry about that.
Are we
What
allowed
other
to
discussion? Go ahead.
add a couple for now? I don't know how you wanna,
Don't they have had needed to already submit an application?
no, I was just saying, it seemed like you and Jimmy perhaps wanted to talk to people, and so I wasn't sure how comfortable you are filling the entire board.
Yeah.
After I talked to you, I reached out. Okay,
Okay.
I've reached out to ones and other people to talk about what they've done. So I'm pretty comfortable
Okay.
with where we are.
And I've done that. I think Mitch has
No,
done.
I'm solid comfortable.
Ron,
with
you have
what
any
they've done.
questions about any of this? What about you? Well, I'd like to make a motion to, for recommendations to the board, if I may, and see how my colleagues feel about that.
Mhm. Go.
Okay, I'd like to make a motion to approve Les DeGraffenreid, Chris Wilkie, Kristen Barrow, Mark Bunty, and Doug Leyendecker to the board.
I can support that.
I'll second. Are we
You get that?
seconding that?
I need
Is that a
second.
motion?
Yeah.
If that were a motion, I second.
All right, so we have a motion and a second to
Question,
go.
because
leave.
it's the founding of the board, do we have to assign them to places?
I don't think that's the way it, well,
Because they go.
yeah, you
number
you
one,
do have it,
number
you
two.
do have it listed on places. So it's just the order, you can list them as specific places. If you don't, it's just the order they've been listed would be their places.
I think we need to leave the number 4 vacant because that's the one that will be out of the city limits, that will be in the school district. So, and I didn't hear her say Kayla Smith, so I guess you didn't.
Well,
It was either or.
we don't have to,
Okay.
they can still be,
They can still.
they can still qualify for that seat because they're inside the city limits
long
and
as it's in
inside the
school
school district.
As long as they're in the school district.
If that's,
So we
Are
have the
you-
5.
I was just wanting to leave it open. Since you're not appointing the whole board, I would like to leave that one open just in case.
I did
That's the-
You
nominate
put
five.
The whole board?
That's the whole 5 right there.
Okay.
You want to go through it again, Jim?
No, ma'am, I don't. I just thought I only heard 7 today.
Leslie, Chris, Kristen, Mark, Doug Leyendecker, right?
You have a preference to which order? Because some of them will expire October 31st this year. Place 2, place 4 and place 5.
We'll just go in the order we gave out and then see if we can re-up them.
All right, I'm sorry, place 2 and 4.
Luck of the draw.
Look at the draw.
Just to clarify, Mayor, the places they're gonna sit are in the order in which you have listed them in the slate motion. Is that correct? Okay, got it.
Yes, the way we have, Ray, you called them out is the way they're listed and then they can re-up if they want. Okay, so I had a motion and then I had a second, didn't I? Did I have a second? Okay, all in favor. Let me get back over here. Dunham,
Yes.
Meek,
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Very good. I forgot what number I'm on. Thank you. Discussion and action on eliminating Short Street School Zone. Oh, I bet there are people listening out there. They're gonna be so excited. We,
Needs to speak on it before I do.
I think you should just be there in the morning and just surprise.
But I have a deal up here for y'all to look at. Right now, the only school, back when Short used to be a through street and there was no traffic control devices on that street. Now it's broke up by stop signs. Most of the other residential areas. There's already an existing school zone around the elementary there. And so there's about 4 or 5 blocks that are not school zone. And then now we just have an arbitrary school zone kind of out in the middle of nowhere. So I spoke with one of the city council members who brought it to my attention. And looking at that, I just think it makes sense to eliminate it since it was passed when that was a through street and it was wide open. There was no stop signs or anything like that. So
Is that eliminating an ordinance or is this just giving you permission to eliminate it?
no, y'all passed that by ordinance. From
So
what I
this is an
one
ordinance.
kid years ago, I talked to one of the first people that signed the petition to have it put in, like back in '96, I believe it was. And there was one kid that walked across the street there. She was the one who initially told me we should get rid of it. But I wanted to look at it first and
No, you would have to, only an ordinance can rescind another ordinance. So if that's what you want to do, you just basically instruct me to bring you back an ordinance that does that. And then you can pass it on a consent agenda or something at your next meeting.
So the action is to instruct the city attorney to bring back an ordinance to rescind the ordinance.
Is that correct?
That's correct.
We're gonna do what he said.
Can I just, I don't, this may or may not be appropriate, but didn't you say that we were, or haven't we already made Bishop Street back a two-way instead of a one-way? Was that something?
No, ma'am.
Bishop.
There's, around the school, it's one way during school hours.
Okay,
It
okay.
reverts back to two-way outside of school hours, but that's prominently posted all around that area, so.
Okay, great, thank you.
Is the school zone on Short Street, is it a flashing beacon?
There was a time that we put some solar flashing lights up. There's a set on MOK and there was a set put there, brought with some funds that we received from the county to do with school safety. Those constantly malfunction, the solar ones where I was having to come out at midnight and reset them, hard reset them and stuff like that and try to reprogram them. And after a while, I took them down because they were more confusing than anything. They're out of warranty, so we would have to buy more. We explored options about hardwiring. And during that conversation and analysis of where it's at now and the way that that traffic flowed before when it was there versus the stop signs that I don't know if it was y'all or the prior council put to help with some safety in the neighborhood, I just feel that it's appropriate to remove it. Because I mean, you have 5 blocks in between that are closer to the school. It just didn't make any sense to me, any common sense, to have an arbitrary school zone out in the middle of nowhere when you're not covering the ones that are closer to the school.
Is there any objection from the school district?
No.
Okay.
No.
Now, I have another question. There's an ordinance in here that they've written to do this.
If there was, I hadn't reviewed that one.
Okay, it's right here. Would you
Yeah,
like to
it's in
review
there.
it?
Yeah.
Let me hold on.
I guess the hope behind my question was if there was like one that's on 230 that's timed and everything like that, that it could move to MLK, because I know that the solar beacon that's been there has been an issue, and I know it's gone now, but it sounds like it was just the same solar system on Short Street.
They're identical. Yeah, there was 4 lights purchased that were solar, and over time they degrade and stuff like that. I guess the cells go bad and things of that nature. And like I said, those just kept resetting, and I worked with the manufacturer constantly and was resetting them.
Trust me, I got over 100
Yeah.
calls on the one on Short.
Yeah, Jimmy was.
I know about the one on Short.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't have any legal problem with the ordinance that's on there. So if you just want to pass it, that'll do it.
Like when you hit this on.
Yeah.
Jennifer already had the ordinance to repeal the ordinance.
I make a motion that we accept ordinance 2025-7XX for the elimination of the Short Street School Zone.
I second.
Made in second. Councilman Dunham.
Yes.
Meek.
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Yeehaw. Approved. All right, so now we go to number 19. I think you're still on the hot seat up there.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so we have a discussion and action on ordinance amending Chapter 1, Article 1.10 of the City of Smithfield Code of Ordinances to set hours for the cemeteries. It's a funny, I could say, there, bud.
So from dawn to dusk. Okay, so we're amending this ordinance. Is this good for the amending? Did you look at
Yes,
this?
yes.
We're good?
It's a simple one. I didn't draft it,
Mm-hmm.
but I've looked over it and it's fine.
Okay. So I make a motion that we amend the ordinance amending Chapter 1, Article 1.10 of the City of Smithfield Code of Ordinances for set hours for the cemeteries.
Clarification, your motion was to amend the ordinance amending. It should be to pass the ordinance.
The ordinance.
Thank you.
Erase that part of the ordinance. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, I make a motion that we pass the ordinance amending Chapter 1, Article 1.10 of the City of Smithfield Code of Ordinances to set hours for the cemetery.
I'll second that motion.
Excellent.
Motion been made in second. Now we have Councilman Dunham.
Yes.
Meek.
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, so that one is approved. Discussion and action on a presentation from Ashley on the audio visual system at the Recreation Center. Ashley, are you still here? You done slunk. I agree with starting at 5 o'clock.
So obviously this isn't my presentation or quote, this is what Avanex sent. So if y'all have any questions over it, I mean, I did ask him a couple of, specifics just to make sure that I'm clear on what he quoted, but I mean, other than that, it's pretty.
One thing I'd like to say is if we can keep the current projectors, if they still are operational and programmable, that saves 12, almost 13,000. I'd really like to do that, to use that part of the money in where we're going to go to put cameras in there and a way to have town halls that are televised. I know it's going to cost more money, Jennifer, but any money we can save and put towards it will be good.
Yeah, and I did ask just to make sure, and he said that the projectors would work. The biggest difference is they still have the bulbs instead of the lasers. The newer ones, of course, would be higher resolution, all that kind of stuff. But he's like, the old ones are fine. I know that we've used them for different things, and I mean, they're fine. I don't know what other bells and whistles the newer ones would have other than just being new.
Well, I mean, if we can save that money now and put it all towards the other things, let's do that. If there comes a time later on when we want the bigger bells and whistles, we can talk about that then.
Yeah, he did say that they were on a sale. Technically, right now, if you signed in January for them, it only saves about $2,000. And then an unofficial quote is the other AV stuff, the speakers is pretty much going to make that double.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, I'd like to go with where we are.
What was the total budget?
60,000 then or so?
The total for this, I think we had was 35. What we had was 35,000 for
But
this.
that's the speakers, she just said the speakers.
No, that did not. That did not include the cameras. That was only for the audio visual system to get the upgrade. We looked at that. We still have that money in there to do that. We will have to approve that money to go forward.
How many projectors are there?
3.
Well, there's 2 hard mounted ones, and then of course we have ours on a cart, just an old fashioned.
I will say that price is very inflated.
Mhm.
Very inflated, even for a laser projector.
Well,
I'm good with approving it without the projectors.
Okay.
No, you and I have discussed this and I respect your opinion and the work you put into it.
Jimmy, can you
My dear
recap?
colleague.
I'm confused, or I just want to make sure I'm clear on what we're funding here.
What we are, let me get my deal on. What we're funding here is what's on the labor for the base project, materials for the base project, the warranty, and the 3-year site warranty. Well, we wouldn't, the 1,500 for the new projectors, we wouldn't. And the new cabinet for equipment. So there's probably like $15,000 here that we're not funding. We're going down to about 20,000 on this.
And we projected 35,000. Didn't we project?
Yeah, we projected around 35.
Didn't you just say, Ashley, we need new speakers or something? Did you say, and you said that was?
No, I'm sorry, it was with the cameras. So
Oh.
with cameras and mics, that would have to kind of retrofit things.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the next step we're gonna go to.
Yeah, so the room has speakers for the equipment, but it would just be for the live viewing. That has to have whole different microphones and things of that nature.
We'll have to have cameras like we have in here and everything else in order to project onto YouTube and do a meeting in there, which is where we want to eventually get to.
Cool.
So those changes we can get reflected in the minutes, the changes to that schedule.
Yeah.
That's what he's gonna put it in.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can I ask one Parks and Rec Board
Mhm.
question? Did anyone say when we were going to do a first meeting? Are you just going to send that information out to us?
You mean for the advisory board?
Yes, for the.
Yeah, we'll talk, we'll get.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
We didn't put a date in there yet.
Sounds good. All right, thank you.
All right, I make a motion that we approve the Avanet bid for the audio-visual room minus the projectors and the 3-year site warranty for the projectors.
I second that motion.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded. Councilman Dunham?
Yes.
Meek?
Yes.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
I just
Approved.
want to thank Jimmy and Ashley for taking this on because this has been just
A lot.
going on forever. And it's great. We're going to get to actually utilize this wonderful system finally.
Yeah, I think it will. I think this is going to really move forward. And I think Ashley, she did most of the hard lifting on this and got all the info back. And she's probably going to have to do the hard lifting on the next part.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Ashley. Discussion and action on the advanced funding agreement map amendment for the safe routes to school. Jill, there you are.
Yep, so as you see, the original drawing and the language for it just had, so first of all, this is a very complicated project. We've got actually two grant programs that are connected into one project now. So it was the 2019 Safe Routes to School project, which is basically the first set that you're seeing on the top map. And then complications, I don't want to get into a whole lot of detail unless you need me to, but when we reapplied for the TA program, the Texas Alternatives Program, Transportation Alternatives Program, we had added MLK the entire length up to State Highway 95. So when we did the AFA, the numbers are, the budget is all fine, but there was some staff turnover at Texas DOT. I just didn't catch this when I read through the AFA the first time around. And then when I was looking at it again, when we were redoing it recently, I realized that they hadn't included that section for MLK. So this is just to correct the AFA so that the map and the language there is correct.
Okay.
And is there going to be coordination with the county? Because I know that we were looking to potentially repave MLK. I want to make sure this doesn't give them the way.
Yes, no, it's absolutely connected with the county. In fact, Clara Beckett has talked to us about potentially putting in part of the match into the sidewalks from the county. So we'll be in close contact with them for the project.
So two parts. I just want to make sure I'm understanding. I was specifically asking about the roadway.
Yeah, no, I understand, but I mean, she's
Okay.
she knows. We're talking to her about the sidewalks and she'll, we'll be in contact about the whole MLK start to finish.
Yeah, and Clara knows that the truck barn is there and that MLK is used, and she's always worked with us on every project that we've needed help with.
Perfect. Cool. I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
Mayor, I'll make a motion that we approve the advanced funding agreement map amendment for the Safe School Routes to School project as presented.
I'll second that motion.
A motion's been made in second. Councilman Dunham?
Yes.
Meek?
Yes.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Washington?
Yes.
Jameson?
Yes.
Approved. Thank you, Jill.
Thank you,
Discussion
Jill.
and action on a resolution calling for May 2nd, 2026 municipal general election. All right, Jennifer, did you bring your mic?
This is just something we do every year. We call for the election. It'll start on January 14th to get applicants signed up, and it'll run through February 13th. 5 p.m. is the absolute deadline, so please do not wait till the last minute.
So January 14th, starting at 5 p.m. till
Oh.
February.
January 14th, starting 8 a.m.
Oh, 8 a.m. I'm sorry. Oh, 8 a.m. should be closed. 8 a.m. And then February the
13th, 5 p.m. is the cutoff.
5 p.m. is the cutoff, the day before Valentine's Day.
Yes.
All right. Any questions on that?
I make a motion that we approve a resolution calling for the May 2nd, 2026 municipal general election.
I'll second that motion.
A motion's been made in second. Okay, roll call. Dunham?
Yes.
Meek?
Yes.
Jenkins?
Yes.
Washington and Jameson?
Yes, Kathy, I'll see you on the 14th,
13th.
13th. Well, we were gonna,
Oh,
February.
depends on which day. Yeah.
Oh,
we wanted to see who showed up first.
I'm on number 20.
Mhm.
I'm gonna take it off my little number.
We're on the next one for the joint elections.
Okay, discussion and action on entertaining into a joint elections contract with the Elections Administration of Bastrop County to conduct the City of Smithville, May 2nd, 2026 general election.
This is a contract we do every year with Bastrop County. They get the voter the judges and they set up the machines. And I still do some in-house things like get the packet ready, do my postings, run it in the newspaper, but they pretty much put on the voting. So
And if no one files to run at the school board, then we are responsible for the whole cost. Is that correct?
So we'll be that'll be another contract once they know who all will have an election. And so it could lower our cost or raise our cost depending on who will have an election or won't. But that's like MUD's school board. If Bastrop has anything, if the city of Bastrop or Elgin, all of them, since they can vote anywhere in the county, it helps out for a cost as well. But we won't know that until February.
Till we know who all files.
Right.
Okay. Can I get a motion for the contract?
Yeah, I make a motion for entering into a joint elections contract with the elections administrator of Bastrop County to conduct the city of Smithville's May 2nd, 2026 general election.
I'll second that motion.
Motion been made in second. Councilman Dunham,
Yes.
Meek,
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes.
Discussion and action on approval of the financial report, Cynthia's favorite time.
It's not even 7.
No.
Don't worry, we'll still be here.
Here.
Don't jinx it.
Don't.
I love it.
Okay, you should have received in your packet the December financial report. Currently, you can see overall revenues are exceeding the expenses at this time, mainly due to the collection of the property tax in December. It'll definitely improve in January. General side, of course, looks really good just because of that. Utility side, still a little bit, expenses are higher, but that's kind of to be expected because it's the cooler months. Nobody's watering and that kind of thing. So I don't really see any big issues with it. So hopefully it'll all turn around. I don't know if y'all have any specific questions on the budget.
Are there any things that y'all need from the tax note? Does anybody need anything to be talked about today? Oh, man, if that's radio silent, I don't know how to act, man.
Why would you even ask that?
Yeah, too. No,
But I have no,
no.
Get it,
Uh-uh.
Tyrone.
there are no.
Need a motion. Mayor, I make a motion to approve the financial report.
Second.
Motion been made in second. Councilman Dunham.
Yes.
Meek.
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Jameson. Approved. Now we're gonna go to the city council will hold an executive session pursuant to the Open Meetings Act, Government Code, Chapter 551, in accordance with the authority contained in Section 55107-4, to discuss personnel, interim city manager's employment contract, and SMART goals, and exit
cry.
It wasn't crying.
Yeah.
All right, Kathy, you're, okay. Oh, like, don't sit.
Sorry, Sharon.
Jennifer. But she made herself cry. Pull one off of the-
We are back in from from closed session. The time is 8:11.
Mayor, may I make a
Ma-
motion?
Make a motion.
I move we authorize the city attorney to offer terms and conditions of an employment contract for the position of city manager as recommended in executive session.
Somebody second?
I second that motion.
Motion been made and second. Councilman Dunham,
Yes.
Meek,
Yes.
Jenkins.
Yes.
Washington.
Yes.
Jameson.
Yes, ma'am.
This meeting is adjourned.